So the well. Here's the well. There's the mound. There's my house. This is the mound I came up onto with the animals the other night, and they weren't interested in being on top of the mound. They were checking out this, what I thought was a metal bucket. But it's a well. Let's see. See if it sounds like there's water in there. On a rock. All right, let's test this out. Of course, if I drop my phone in there, I would never be getting it back. Because even where the water is, it drops deep. Okay, oh, I also found out there's not 400, 800, it's 600, 800. 400 feet this well, if the city built it, which I'm pretty sure it did. And 600 feet for the wells that the pot farmers, or 800, I can't remember, 800 feet for the pot farmers. And a lot of people are worried about that the pot industry has access to more of the groundwater, the aquifer, than the regular citizens. But all right, here we go. Let's listen. Ooh, what does that sound like? Let's do it one more time. That was actually pretty cool. It's like, for a second, it sounded like the rock just dropped into oblivion, never to hit anything. Okay, here we go. There's the water. I heard a splash. And that one hit the sides a lot more than the first one, but that definitely splashed. I have got to figure out a way to pump water out of here. But man, a water pump that can pump water at least a few hundred feet. Just because it goes down 600 doesn't mean that it's 600 feet to the water. But still, it might cost me a lot of money to get a pump strong enough to get to that water. Okay, well, that's the water. Well, I guess I should tell you something else about poor Arthur here. The other night, I guess I don't do videos often enough. When I get upset about things, like I said, I usually, like a little pond here. I usually, I can't help but like not do videos. I might think about doing a video, but then I'll, you know, the thought of having to report bad news also crosses my mind, and you know, when I'm depressed, you know, like, who wants to listen to me sound all depressed, right? But yeah, I opened up a new can of Spam, and I was gonna do a little review video of another can of Spam I found. But I was down because of Arthur. Arthur, puppy. Oh, he's a good boy. Yeah. He ran off. He was acting a little strange one morning. I had to go into town. It was kind of early, about 9-ish, and I was gonna be gone. I knew I was gonna be gone for a while. At least I thought. Well, I didn't know I was gonna be gone for a while, but I had to get into town to get some Wi-Fi and find out if this guy I do a little bit of work for needed me if there was any days he wanted me to come in. Excuse me. And so probably still good. Oh yeah, I'm looking for a water container I lost. Got blown away. I guess I didn't have enough water in it. But anyways, so I as I'm pulling out the dog, Arthur, he just starts dancing around my car. He usually doesn't do that, and we hadn't left for a minute. It rained really good the other night. If you remember, everything was soaking wet a few nights ago now. And for the first time, I took Arthur for a walk, and we walked through the muddy desert all the way to the gas station. It's just like a couple of miles away, 3-4 miles or something, I don't know. And it was the first time Arthur's actually left the farm on foot and not in the car. And I kind of wondered, should I have done that when he disappeared? So the next day we stayed here all day. I didn't go anywhere. We didn't drive anywhere. I just stayed here. And Arthur, the following day, Thursday, is when I drove out, left around 9. Got a message from the guy. He's like, well, if you're in town, I need your help right now. So I spent a bunch of time at the cafe, doing dishes, doing work, and trying to make a little bit of money. And then from there, I went to the other guy and did some work for him for a little bit of money. And when I got home, the sun had just gone down and it was dark. But when I left, Arthur had never acted the way he did before. Like I said, he was dancing around my car as I'm backing up. He's behind the car, and he usually doesn't do that. I'm like, I'm backing up, dog. What are you trying to do? And then when I get it going forward, he gets in front of the car. I guess he really wanted to go with me. I was thinking thoughts like, oh man, did I not... He had breakfast. Did I not feed him enough? Did I not give him enough water? Maybe I didn't love him enough. I was not taking pictures with him enough. I don't know what I did. Maybe it was the night that I woke up in the middle of the night and he jumped up on the bed, and for some reason I instinctively told him to get down, and I was just too tired to try and get him to come back up onto the bed, so I went back to sleep. I don't know. I was thinking of all kinds of weird things as to why he ran off. But when I got back, he was gone. It was dark and he was gone. And I stayed up late. I had the door open. I lit the front up of the place. I lit up a big fire, or tried to get a big fire going. But he didn't come back. And I was pretty worried about that. I knew for sure that if he wasn't coming back, where'd the other cat go? That if he didn't come back that night, he wasn't coming back. I really believe that he just wasn't coming back. And it was, as you guys know, it was ice cold. Everything froze for like 3 days in a row. And those 2 nights he was out. 2 nights out here in the desert. I'd pretty much given up hope. And on the 3rd day, I'm driving slow, taking the route that I usually take to get into town. Oh, I'm missing a cat. And I'm kind of keeping an eye out for him. I did go out looking for him. I was calling for him, shouting for him for 2 nights. And there he was. I couldn't believe he was sitting up on this sofa someone left out in the desert, and he'd been living and sleeping on the sofa for 2 nights. I hit the brakes. He looked at me, watched me as like I was practically driving by. He actually followed me when I went into town. He followed the route, and I didn't even know. He was right behind me, running behind, trying to follow me all the way till I got into town. And he made it about 1/3 of the way there, really far. like at least 2.5 miles out into the desert where he finally stopped. And he just waited for me, poor thing. He was skinny, he was shivering, and like I didn't know what had happened to him. For as far as I knew, he was either, you know, mauled by a cougar or ripped apart by coyotes, or he was just a frozen block, because he's a short-haired dog. But he survived, no food, no water, below freezing temperatures for 2 nights living on that sofa. I jumped out of the car. I wanted to cry. I was just like, oh my God, Arthur, you're alive. Oh, you're a good boy. Oh, I jumped out and grabbed him like he was a baby and cradled him all the way back into the car and put him in the back seat and turned around, came right back home, gave him some food. You're a good puppy. Yeah. But I got him back. And, yeah, that wind. I thought she was doing something else. Looks like that wind got rid of my container. That was a good container too. It had a lid on it. I was gonna use it for water. Good white plastic container. But anyways, this video's been too long. Everything's fine now. Animals are fine. Arthur's back. The well has been found. And yeah. Better make sure I don't lose one of the cats, even though they're pretty smart animals. I'm gonna start heading back. But okay, guys, thanks for watching.